TSF Entertainment.
And welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. It is your boy Retro CG in the building on this good Sunday afternoon. Got the brothers on the panel today, as always. DJ Fresh, Your Highness, M2 in the building, and Mr. Jack of Jordan. What's up, fellas?
Yo, what's going on?
What up, dude?
What's good? How y'all doing?
I'm all good, man. Can't complain.
Can't complain.
Another beautiful week. Made it through. Yeah,
Made it through another week. All right, so y'all know what we are here for. We are here to talk about Power Book 3. It's Raising Kanan. It is season 4, episode 406, The Price of Fame. Opening thoughts on the episode, fellas. What do y'all think?
It's where we at? We at 6, right? Okay. It was a decent episode. Normally by now we'll start getting action packed. So I was expecting this one to be a little bit more action packed, as normally we're starting to pick up. But I mean, it was decent. I'll probably get like a 7.
All right.
I was thinking the same thing. Actually, I was thinking more like a. I was thinking more like a 6. I didn't necessarily expect an action-packed thing. It left a lot of questions, which is good. We've been action-packed pretty much the whole season so far, but it left a lot of question marks, and we're gonna get to it.
Well, Cubstar, we appreciate you tuning in from the nail shop.
Most definitely.
She said she got to get a fly on and she got to make sure
get
she see her show at the same time. That's what I'm talking about. For me, I gave the episode an 8.5. Almost a 9.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty good episode. It's an episode leading us to the closeout for the season. So, I think we're going to get that action that y'all looking for next episode and through on. All right. Yeah, M2, what's your thoughts?
I gave it an 8, man. I think it was it was a builder for suspense. So, from the things we saw throughout the show throughout the episode to what we saw in the end. So,
okay. All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump on into this week's episode. All right. So the episode title is The Price of Fame. It was written by Kevin Fox, directed by Monica Raymond. The episode synopsis: Rock tries to overcome Marvin's poor judgment. Kanan recruits Jukebox to help him get justice for his friend, and Unique assembles the final pieces of his plan. And I feel like they did a good job with the episode synopsis, actually showing us everything in the episode synopsis. You know, here lately we've been like, huh? Where is that at?
Yeah, I agree with that.
As stated in our predictions, the episode starts off with the Thomas family out at Cafe Vu. You have a memorial for Famous. I guess it's a memorial that they're having for Famous. Kanan is sitting there looking at Famous's picture, probably ruminating over the fact that he hasn't been the best friend that he should have been to Fame.
Yep.
And Kanan is probably walking around with a lot of grief on him because of how he let Ronnie handle Fame and how he himself handled Fame towards the end of last season.
You know,
All right.
real quick, if I can, and this is kind of like where my question marks come in at, because the one person that we definitely all agree that should please just leave here like as soon as possible, please be unalive. He's giving him a pass a lot. Like, he smacked Fame and punked Fame a lot, bullied himself into his home. But this one guy, even though like he contradicted himself in something he said, he just got to give him a pass way too much. But that's just my thoughts.
Who are you talking about?
OC.
OC, yep. You already know, OC.
I was lost. I when he said it, I was
OC.
like, "You talking about Kanan?"
We gonna talk about OC. We got a lot of things to talk about. The 38-year-old teenager, as my boy ODH TV refers to him as, the 38-year-old teenager. We got a lot to say about his little punk ass. I can't stand OC. The Thomas
Please take
family
him.
is at the bar. They're pouring one up for Fame. Oddly enough, Kanan didn't take a sip. Marvin and Rock pour a little bit out for Fame. We see Jessica and Fame's mother, Miss Olga, is there at the memorial as well. You know, they're grieving and everyone's just kind of talking about it. Everyone's having their kind of own individual conversations about the whole situation and what their feelings and thoughts are. And of course, Lou right here is letting Rock know that, listen, Rock lets Lou know that, look, Kanan gonna want some payback for what happened to his friend. And Lou's like, he ain't the only one. And she's like, I thought you wasn't about that life anymore. And he was like, well, I'll make an exception for Fame. So what we're seeing here is, let's go, Lou. That's right. Let's go, Lou. Lou's getting ready to batter up.
Yeah, getting active.
Yep, he's ready to batter up. Rock was like, okay. She's like, I don't know what to do with that, but okay, I feel you.
For real, God.
Of course, Rock excuses herself as Jessica is walking up, and she goes to comfort Lou. They comfort each other. They are probably taking an opportunity to let each other know that they will be there for each other. So I'm like, okay, we're going to see some action between these two characters this episode. I kind of already called that.
Yeah.
What did y'all think about this whole situation at Cafe Vu, especially the conversation between Shirley and Marvin? Was it telling us something? Or am I reaching?
I thought it was telling us something, but I just couldn't figure out or pinpoint exactly what it is it was telling us. Like the way she was saying, you know, like you gotta look out, you know, you gotta watch them. I just can't pinpoint it. Like it's a foreshadowing of something, but of what I don't know. That's on the thing.
I took it as, I mean, like we all kind of said, you know, earlier previously that we didn't really think Marvin was gonna make it out of the season. I took it as kind of like foreshadowing with that, you know, just a conversation with that and Juke going dark, you know, and that's the way I took the conversation.
I think you're right about that. I think the foreshadowing is what we saw in this scene was exactly what happened later on in the episode when Marvin tells Shirley that the streets always win. And of course, Shirley's like, you know, you got to keep a hold to the ones that are still here. So I think that kind of planted the seed in Marvin a little bit that, okay, I need to check in on Juke too, because I'm sure that this is having an effect on her too, because, they were all friends. They all cared about Fame, especially Juke. She did a song with him and everything. She pressed on Kanan the entire season last season with what was going on between him and Fame. Every time she saw Kanan, she was like, yo, what's up with Fame? What's up with you and Fame? So this right here is probably bothering her just as much as it is bothering Kanan. And of course, we see that throughout the episode. They sitting here at the table and, they're talking about the whole situation. Crystal pick up vibes real quick. She ain't no slow leak. She pick up vibes real quick. She's like, I'm about to go get something to eat. Y'all want something?
I forgot what she said to him, but that joint was funny. The look they gave her, I was like,
yeah. She knew right then and there she needed to excuse herself.
Like, Kanan gave her the most mean mug. Him and Juke. I forgot what she said, but it was just like, okay, I'm about to go grab me something to eat. Like, y'all ain't about to jump on me.
Right. That's an interesting comment, Cub Star. You don't know if Jessica really cares about Lulu, or does she care about that D? Is that all she care about? What does she care about? Or do she care about that D? That's what she care about. All right. So yeah, that's that look right there that they gave her. Like, is you talking about? She's like, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'll be back. And so Juke like, listen, when you find out who put down Fame, I want in on that. And he was like, since when you out here gunning for the cats? And she like, since they put down Fame, which we kind of knew that. We knew that Juke was gonna be ready to ride. I'm still not feeling Kanan's disrespectful tone to his mom. Like, I get that you and your mom got beef, but now is not the time nor the place. She's actually trying to be a mother to you now. She's walking up to you to check on y'all, like, y'all, how y'all two holding up or whatever. And you look up at her and say, how do you think? And I'm like, she should have smacked the shit out of him right there.
Yeah, he definitely dismissed Rock, man.
Yeah, I'm about tired of him dismissing Rock now or disrespectful ass.
Yeah, like, I didn't even understand like the disrespect, because like she just told you, like, you ain't rocking with me, but you don't have no problem coming over here to get my work or doing your laundry in my crib. Like, she just trying to give you some game. Like, hey man, look, chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Do y'all think they're setting us up for something else? Because they kind of like show us all the time of how distant and disposition their relationship is. Do you think they're setting us up for something else between them? Like, maybe a stronger reconciliation as Rocco need Kanan?
You know what this reminds us of, right? It reminds us of
Tariq and
yes.
And Ghost?
I mean, yes. Yep. I mean, it's just every episode, every interaction is like, okay, we get that you mad. She has tried every which way she can to make amends for her actions. She's even went as far as to explain to you why she did some of the things that she did, and still you sitting here with your face all turned up, but you are not accepting responsibility for how you got here. Even with this situation with your friend, like your friend probably wouldn't have even been put down if you moved a little bit differently with him, but Kanan just can't see past his own feelings, and he's in his feelings.
But do you think that's all? Do you think it's all draws back to
as a mom?
Do you think it all draws back to him not knowing, about Detective Malcolm? Because it's on a lesser scale though. With Tariq didn't have no problem with somebody taking out Ghost. Kanan, you can't touch his mom. Like, he don't like her, but you can't touch her. So do you think there's all a play on? Because I think because the way they put emphasis on their relationship, I think sometimes they're just setting this up for something else that's going to be bigger, to the point where they're not going to have no choice but to either go against each other or they're going to need each other, like, tremendously.
That's a different way to look at it. That's a different viewpoint. It's a different viewpoint. There is a little bit of dichotomy there, DeMarcus, in your comment. Don't know if I 100% agree. I think the circumstances are just a little bit different. I think Kanan is, at this point, is just being a brat. The whole situation with Miss Joyce, it's a little bit different.
I feel like it's a little bit different. That's a little bit more in depth with Joyce, the Joyce situation.
Yeah, it's a little bit more deep rooted, not along with like Retro said Kanan's just being a brat. Like, bruh, you got to remember, they kept trying to keep you out of the game.
Yep.
You
That
kept
part.
trying to force your way in the game.
It made a mess everything you touched.
Everything. They kept saying, nope. Then they
Buck
put you
20, the situation with Nicole,
Yep.
the list goes on. Like, Kanan, your hands ain't clean in this.
kept telling you, get out. And then when she finally was like, all right, if you want to be in it, I'm going to show you. Then she showed you. And then you go on this. And I get it. You know, she tried to get you to unalive Howard. That's your pops or whatever. But it's like at the end of the day, like he even told you, like, yo, how's going to look on the street with everybody knowing that your pops is a cop.
And you out here moving work. All right, so we see Phil Russo at his sanitation business. He pulls up, and Unique sitting out here on the steps waiting for him to give him the update that, listen, I did what you told me to do. I went ahead and got my crew together. I got Quan backing me. Now all I need is muscle and money. And Phil looking at him like, that's all you need? Muscle and money. Like, and how do I benefit from this situation? And then, of course, he goes on to tell, what does he tell Unique in this scene? He tells Unique that he can't touch Stefano as much as he wants to. He can't. And he also advises Unique not to be out here dropping bodies because a war right now is not something they want to be a part of. Even though they want to get their thing off, they can't necessarily get their thing off right now because they're not necessarily as strong as they would like to be to go up against New York. And so he was like, that includes your girlfriend. And Unique like, hey, that ain't my girlfriend. Don't call her that. And he says it twice in this scene. He refers to Rock as his girlfriend. I'm just trying to figure out, like, Phil, how do you even know all that?
On top of that, Stefano's a made man, so he's going to have to get permission from the other bosses,
the other families to touch him.
Yeah, the other families to even try to take him out.
That's why he mentioned maybe he can weaken him up enough for his own somebody in his own camp to take him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it seemed like it'd be their implode. Because you can't touch a made guy, let alone a boss. Because if you do, like the other families that come down on you, and you're pretty much be exiled. So he just figured. I think he's gonna use Unique as kind of like a little pawn or something like that to kind of sway the rest of his crew to do something to him.
DeMarcus, you say Rock is a worse mother than Monet? How?
No.
Not even close.
Tell me how. How? Like, we've said this over and over again, that Rock has done everything she can to keep Kanan out of the game. Is she a bad character? Yes. A bad mother? I don't necessarily think so, because at the end of the day, she's dealing with the fallout of an unruly teenager.
They had both her kids' fathers eliminated.
and for the most part, like every time Kanan step in shit, Rock there to clean it up.
Yep.
But not only that, but we saw that Monet purposely used each and every one of her kids in the business. And she used them as shooters.
Mm-hmm.
She used them as shooters.
Right.
She
didn't use was Zeke.
Diana out.
The only one she didn't use as something as a shooter or something as part of the game was Zeke. But you see how that story ended. She still used them for sure. That was her end game. See how that story ended.
The A word is healthcare. Well, I think there's some stories. Well, we kind of knew why she did the second one with Unique's child. The first one it's unclear how old she was. It's unclear why and who prompted her to do such. I feel like there's a story there that's probably not going to get told about the first one. Like I said, I told y'all, they over here with this crazy ass David. 2 sheets in the wind. David is obviously not shook up, not torn up, not bothered at all about his commentary.
David ready to party, man.
Yeah,
literally planning a party.
Because he like treating his nose. That's why.
Listen, if I was Marvin, I would have asked him, is that our product? Is that our product? That's going to be
right. That's what I thought was going to happen. Like they
I was waiting for it.
That was coming. Like, okay, he just going to sit here and snort our product in front of us. But I
And
forgot
then
that
all
they
of our
moving
products
8.
sitting here on the dock not moving.
Then I remember they moving 8, so that's why I was like, okay, I remember like, okay, that's not their product, but like still, bro, like this whole scene had me. She was ready to put him down too. She like this fool right here thinking everything is a joke right now.
And laughing about planning a little mixer. He's trying to figure out what color he's going to repaint the office. It's either yellow or green. And then Rock and Marvin up in here trying to tell him, listen, our product's sitting on the dock. And he's like, oh, well, we don't have any drivers. And they just, Rock was like, let him go. Because that roughing him up ain't working. He laughing. Talking about Marvin. I didn't realize how strong you were. Like, this man is unfazed.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think part of that comes from the fact not only is he 2 sheets in the wind, but he realizes now that he can't be touched? Like, they need him.
Nah, I think it was just high.
No, that man was going off that blow. That's why he was acting like
He was
that.
definitely going off the blow for sure.
That's all
Rock,
it
like,
was.
put him down, let him go. And she's
Yeah.
like, Marvin, see, this is what I told your stupid ass. Like, listen, I told you go over here and deal with the Terry situation. I didn't tell you to put him down. Now we stuck with this. Now we got to deal with this. Now our product is not moving. You make this mess, you deal with it.
Oh yeah.
What do you
Back
think?
to
is gonna
telling
be
Marvin he messy.
This ain't gonna work for them.
Yeah, this is the second joint. That's why I said it's been a trend all season. Marvin just been messy. I knew it was gonna come back to haunt him when he put him down last week. I was just like, out of nowhere, he just reacted. And again, like she said, you don't think. And he kept. Who was that he told that he was like, I can think too. I'm smart. And he was just like, it showed like, nah, you can't.
Yeah, but did he really have a choice? I mean, the man threatened to go talk.
Yeah, I mean, his back was against the wall at that point. When you say, "I'll go to the police and I'll risk everything else, but I'll go to the cops."
I'm
Yeah, I
wondering
definitely.
how Rock would have handled it if it was her.
Probably would have threatened his family, but I feel like Marv probably could have just gave him a beat down. It was just like, or could have just said anything like, okay, yeah, you risk selling on us. What about your family? Like
That's what they should have did.
Your wife and kids. Like,
yeah,
Marv just overreacted, just like, all right, well, gotta take him out. And that was it. And I was just like, I feel like he could have did something else. You know what I'm saying? More to that. Like, but again, like you said, that's been the reoccurring theme all season. That Marv just been messy.
Somehow, somewhere, I feel, man, this right here. We want to take this scene because I ain't gonna get through it without saying some pretty bad things about OC.
First off, I think OC was talking to Unique on that phone.
No, I think he was talking to a chick.
And if it wasn't that, it was definitely a female. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Female, because he was talking about how his stomach was all tore up because he had the hot sauce and fish. Whatever. He on the phone caking.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. He was caking.
Yeah, he on the phone caking.
Yeah, I ain't think he was talking to Unique or nothing like
and
that.
And again, when you look at this scene, you can really tell that Kanan is not really ready to boss up. I mean, look how his workers in all lax and everything, chilling. You got Buddy over there at the table. He look out of it. You had one sitting back smoking.
Yep.
Yeah, he just ain't he not ready to boss up, man. He out here playing gangster.
Yeah, I think it was more so like, all right, I'll get to the scene. So Kanan comes in and he finds his workers just sitting around, one just sitting around, like M2 said, defeated. Like he just looked like he lost his puppy. You got the other one just smoking. And
yeah, this one right here.
Yeah, he looked like he lost his puppy. So you're like, look at his face, like, man, I just lost.
Oh, my dog ran away.
A dog
coming in with a $2 super chat from DeMarcus. Who's more grimy, OC or B-Rilla? That's a tie.
Yeah, it's a tie for sure.
That's a tie.
That's a tie for sure.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one. I'm gonna have to.
I gotta say OC, man. Gotta say OC because OC, you don't really see it. You know, like Kanan Kanan haven't picked up on it yet. He knows something, but he really don't know what it is. B-Rilla, on the other hand, he a stick-up kid. So you kind of know what they expect from him.
You might be right about that. I still call a draw.
Yeah, I'm with Retro. I call a draw.
I have to call a draw on that.
I call a draw.
Dexter, you don't think Kanan is intimidating yet?
Thank you. I agree with you.
Y'all don't think so?
He's not. Like
He's not. That's why they sitting there chilling like that.
That's exactly why they're sitting there chilling like that. He's not intimidating, and I was gonna bring that up on the last show. He's not intimidating. Like, to be honest, like he's really living off of his family's name because everybody knows who his mom is. So
and that's why they shook.
Like, we really can't touch Kanan because we know if we touch Kanan, we're gonna have Raq, we're gonna have Marvin, we're gonna have the whole world coming at us. But Kanan is still trying to prove, because think about it like this, yo. Kanan has only put down 2 people the entire time. He ain't put down nobody else. He put down Ronnie, and he put down in the first season, not Buck 50. That was his name, right?
Buck 20.
Buck 20. Yeah, him and Fame. That's it. He hasn't put nobody else down. He ain't really done nothing.
Well, he did put Ronnie down.
That's what I said. But those are the only 2. Like, he put him down, but I mean, and I guess if quote unquote, if you want to say, he kind of put down Howard, you know what I'm saying? But like he's not intimidating to anybody because like his whole, like, look at OC looking at him.
Look at OC looking at him. OC look like a muppet.
OC across the room. Man, I'm gonna smack this little ass across the room. Yo, sitting up in my face telling you lie.
This scene also right here foreshadow for me, because when Kanan said to OC, like, yo, wait a minute, you said we were out of work. Now you say we got a little bit. So which one is it?
Yeah.
Like, we got a little bit or we out of work. And this is why, right, like I feel right here, like this is why the workers don't really, because like Kanan, like OC already know Kanan skimming off the top. He take a little bit, and like he ain't really paying on workers to move. And now he talking about, y'all want to get paid? Give me some info on what happened to Fame.
Good points.
So they just sitting there like,
and there are 3 episodes from Kanan walking in, they playing Super Nintendo, bro.
I thought they were gonna be doing it in this one. No, we ain't at Super Nintendo yet. We in the 90s.
Nah, Super Nintendo? Yeah.
No, we ain't at no Super Nintendo. They play Nintendo. They might be playing Sega Genesis.
I mean, Sega and Super Nintendo was like the same time.
Yeah. We in 93 Super Nintendo.
I didn't think we get Super Nintendo till like the late 90s.
Nah, Super Nintendo wow, bro.
That was Nintendo 64.
Yeah, we in 93. Super Nintendo's out for sure.
No, I got
Killer Instinct, right? All of that.
Oh, I remember Killer Instinct. That's my joy.
Super Nintendo's out. So, but to go back to, like he said, he's not really intimidating, because immediately, as soon as all of them walked in, like they should have popped up immediately.
Yep.
Like, oh, the boss here. Like, and none of them did. They just sat there. It was just like
chilling.
DeMarcus, it's not January 93. It has to be later after that. Because in the family dinner, what was that, episode 2? The Jordan 9s he had on came out in November of 93. So this got to at least be late November, late December of 93.
And plus we've seen him in the Hair 7s as well. And that came out after those.
Yeah.
So we have to be knocking on the door of
early 94. Yeah, we're knocking on the door at 94. So it's still winter. But
yeah, you could tell that because of the jackets and the way that they dressed, it's still winter.
Yeah.
Look here. They told Kanan, you were right about that. Because they playing with Kanan about this work. Either you have this work or you don't have this work. Like you said, they know that he's skimming off the top of it. So they ain't even really taking it serious either. And Kanan ain't peeped that. You're right. Kanan has not peeped the fact that they playing around.
We'll look when we get to that scene. It's
okay.
I mean, it could. I'm not.
They might be right though, because we could be dealing with a continuity issue due to the shoes.
Yeah, it could. We definitely could be. It could be 92, but going by the shoes that they've got on, and then as well as that truck that Rock is driving now. Because remember, at the beginning of the season, she was driving a Land Cruiser. Now she's back in a Range Rover, and that green Range Rover is it's called the LWB edition. I can't remember. That was like right before they switched the body styles up. I mean, it could be, but those Jordan not. Yeah, it could be a continent, like a retro say. It could be a continent. Y'all know what the word I'm trying to say.
Continuity issue.
Yeah, continuity issue. Because like them Jordans that he had on, those 9s did not come out till late November of '93.
If you run all of the shoes himself, the Great Fives, if you run the Hair 7s, the Black Cement 3s, all of the shoes that we've seen them, these are 93 to 94 pieces.
Yeah. Like, I was about to say, even those Jordan 3s that Juke had on, those first retro to 93. So it could just be that. Maybe they're just doing that as a timeline thing.
Yeah.
But this right here, I'm still confused as you have a whole storage unit, but you don't have nothing else in the storage unit but this raggedy chest
in the middle of the room.
The lock off. I could break that lock off with a screwdriver, and you just covering up with a little small blanket. This foot, like, you don't have nothing else to put in there to like try to hide it. Nothing.
Yeah, it look like you would have
the same thing
else in there. Just the fact that the ceiling is not enclosed.
Exactly.
It's like a crate gated ceiling. So, like, bruh, that's all you have in the storage is one big foot locker in the middle of the room. And you go ahead and dump a bag of money in here. Yo, I said it last week. I said, OC go rob him. I said that. I said that OC go rob him. And when he was dumping the money, he almost kind of looked like, his locker was a little light. He almost had a look about him, almost like, I should have more than this or whatever. Not implying that OC's already been in here, because obviously we just saw him follow him in this scene. But yeah, Kanan, this is a smart move, but not the smartest way to do this.
Yeah, that chest definitely need to be behind something, or some miscellaneous stuff at least in there, so you don't know that chest is in there.
So we see OC followed Kanan to the storage, and he peeping game. Now, how this translates to him finding out exactly which storage unit is Kanan's, I don't know. But obviously he's going to figure it out, but I don't know how he would. He's outside. So how you going to know which storage unit he is?
I also think that when he's
driving too, but obviously he's got the seat all the way up to the steering wheel.
He got a booster seat.
No, we don't need no booster seat. He needs to reach the pedal. Yeah, he needs to reach the pedal. I knew y'all were going to say something about that.
But what was you about to say, M2?
I was just saying, like, I think when he actually rob him, when OC actually rob him and take that money, it's not going to be a report back to Unique on that when he do it.
He going to peace out.
That's going to be he going to do that. That's going to be a self thing.
Yeah. Because even though you haven't seen OC mention anything to Kanan about, them need more money, the mere fact that Kanan said in this episode, in that scene, that if you want more money, give me some information on Fame, that leads me to think that, okay, they all thirsty up for money right now. So yeah, OC gon' rob him, and he gonna get up out of town.
Yeah.
Or try to get up out of town. But yeah, we don't know how he's shifting the pedals. We don't know how he's pressing the gas. I don't know what he doing. Maybe got a little stick or something down there.
I was gonna say he got them little hand controls, bro.
Yeah.
Where you can hit the gas and hit the brake.
Lou was at a meeting, and of course we knew why he would need to go to a meeting. He's feeling a little overwhelmed with his feelings in regards to what's happened to Fame. And of course, he's trying to process with his group, Juke try to have a little bit of breakfast, and she look at that prayer card for Famous, and it does say 1992 on it, y'all. Now, boy, you know our chat don't miss no beats. They don't be missing no beats.
Big facts.
Big facts. But at least we do know that we are in October of 1992. So I still think that we're dealing with some continuity issues. But Juke look at that prayer card, and she get up and she go pick up Marvin's piece, and she decided to have breakfast with it.
Dex ain't lying. He said all the killers eat cereal. Look at Ronnie. Oh man.
Y'all, what's going on with Garcia and his messy ass? Garcia is messy. I can't pinpoint what it is. Because we know that Captain Baptiste told him to get out here and find out what's going on, what happened with Howard. But oddly enough, you have not seen him investigate anything about Howard the entire season. He's been on this witch hunt for Famous.
That's because I think personally, Famous. Not Famous, but I think personally that Garcia. I think he's trying to see what Famous's mother, if Famous told his mom anything about the dirty cops. If he was working to see who dirty cop, to weed out the dirty cops, I think Garcia is trying to find out what if he gave his mom any information about the dirty cops.
That's a good point. Famous mom said, "Listen, get out of my face. Just get out of my face and get out of my house.
Don't trip." I thought the same thing too. That Garcia unalive Famous.
But what would be the motive?
He dirty himself.
Yeah, he dirty. Well, we haven't seen that he's been dirty.
He dirty.
I don't know. It's just we'll get to that because I'm back and forwards and backwards. 1 minute I still think you did it.
Why I have to do it?
1 minute I still think Marvin did it. And then I'm kind of leaning towards Garcia a little bit. But then if OC was just a little bit taller, I would say OC did it.
I think Garcia know who did it. And this is just one of those things. He's trying to find out if Famous left any breadcrumbs behind with his mother.
I see a lot of people in the comments, in the chat, and other people's comments saying that Dirty Cops did it. But if it was the Dirty Cops that did it, why string us out this long? Why string us out from episode to episode to episode with this lingering question, who won alive Famous? If it was as simple as a Dirty Cop did it, we could have gotten past that 3 episodes ago and been past this and done. Why are we going through every episode has been something about Famous? To me, this is too big of a story for them to be carrying on from episode to episode for 2 dirty cops that we don't even know their names. Like, we don't care about the dirty cops. Like, that angle is not important to the story for us. So we know we've had dirty cops when we seen them shaking Rock down. We knew we had dirty cops when we seen them over there with Snap and Pop getting paid off. We knew Howard was a dirty cop. So the big revelation of dirty cops is, where does that carry the story further?
D-Wiz, Dexter, I don't think it could have been D-Wiz's brother because he's still in jail.
Yeah, it's got to be something related to a character that we care about that's important to the story. Otherwise, why take us through this big old production of Famous being unalive? Like, it just doesn't make sense to the story. But anyway, Miss Olga, Famous mom, tell Garcia, look, get up out of my face, because I came to you and told you my son was missing. You didn't take me serious. You didn't care. Don't try to come over here and act like you care now. Get the F out of my place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, good job.
She threw him all the way out.
She threw his ass all the way up out of here. Get up out of here.
He was bogus for what he said anyway.
Bogus.
Hey, I need that jacket. I need that jacket Lulu got on, man.
Lulu goes to visit his mama. And obviously, he hasn't been over there. since the situation happened between Marvin and her. And he goes to tell Mama, "Look, I brought you some food. How you feeling? Just checking in on her or whatever." And of course, she uses this as opportunity to dig at Lou a little bit, telling him about how fragile he is, how sensitive he's been, and the way she describes her children, I mean, she's on point with her description of her kids and as far as their personality traits. She says Lulu's too sensitive, too soft. Marvin is a coward, and Lulu is like, no, he's not. And she goes on to tell him, "Did your brother tell you what I asked him to do?" And she explains to Lulu pretty much the same thing she explained to Marvin, that look, she didn't know that this was going to be this hard. She didn't realize that dying was going to be as painful as it is. She don't want to continue suffering like this. She wants to go out on her own terms, and she wants one of her kids to take her out. She said Lulu too fragile, he can't do it. Rock too hard, so she can't do it. And she just appeals to Lulu's have mercy on me. And Lulu's like, look, I can't do this. And she's like, well, don't be afraid about what it's going to do to me. I'll just go to sleep. And he was like, no, I'm not afraid about what it's going to do to you. I'm afraid about what it's going to do to me. And I'm like, how can you ask your child to unalive you and think that's not something they're going to carry with them the rest of their life?
Because it's Joyce Thomas, man. That's why. Like, I think that the fact that she knows what type of children she has, so it's like I can push the button on one of them, and that whole thing where I can't ask your sister to do it because she's too hard, or I can't ask you to do it because you're too fragile. So I asked Marvin to do it. I believe that she intentionally pushed their buttons to see how far, which one of them was gonna do it. And so far, 2 out of the 3 haven't done it. I think she's doing that on purpose. I think, she expects her kids to do it, but it's like one of those things like, I care, like, I might not rock with you, but at the same time, I care enough about you that I'm not gonna pull your plug. You know what I'm saying? So she's trying to use her kids when her kids don't want to be used. They like, hey, leave me out of that. Your fate will be your fate.
My bad, y'all. I'm back. So we confirmed it was famous joint said 92.
Yep.
Yeah.
But okay. Before we move forward, how long did whatchamacallit say that she kept coming back to talk to Garcia?
3 months.
Okay. All right.
DeMarcus, you wild, man.
Yeah, you was on it then. Dang, because I'm just thinking of like
it's in the scene. It's in the scene with Jukebox. Right here.
Okay. I mean, I guess it is. Like, I mean, technically, we don't even know for sure the damn timeline because they never really even tell us the time.
They give us little nuggets here and there.
Because
here and there.
Because I'm just thinking about from a science standpoint that like he could have been unalive then. And that's how, the coroner and all them could tell exactly like, oh, when he was unalive and his body just rotted away. Like, they don't necessarily know when his body rotted away. But like Russell said earlier,
is usually the day that they bury you.
Oh, well, I don't know anymore. Like Russell said, continuity. So
I'm pretty sure it's a continuity. Whoever is the stylist on the show, they are trying to keep it as close to the timeline as possible with the shoes. But at the same time, I feel like somebody says, I want them in these shoes right here, even though we're a year behind.
Yeah,
it's close enough where they feel like maybe the audience won't pick up on the fact that those shoes had came out yet.
Yeah, because in this episode, had on great fast. All right, so we're just gonna go with the market.
It's definitely a continuity issue too, because you got to think about the scene with Jukebox and Aisha when they were doing their thing. They were playing SWV Week in the background, and if you go and look at some of the songs that they played from the '90s, go look at the years that the songs released.
Yeah,
All right.
So, which I thought that song came out 93, 94
It did.
week.
It did.
All right, so eventually, you might be right, Marvin. M2, you got 2 down, 1 to go. So does that mean Rock's gonna be the one to grant her mercy,
No.
or is it gonna
No.
be Kanan? Is it gonna be Jukebox, or is she just gonna do it to herself? I believe she's just gonna take herself,
I think she just.
That's what I believe.
I think
That's
she
what I
eventually
believe.
just gonna pass away in her sleep.
or she's gonna pass away on her own in her
Yep.
sleep.
Yeah.
Because I wonder how they will react to the fact that if she takes herself too, because remember the father
Mhm.
took himself. So I just wonder how that will probably make Rock even angrier if she did the same thing that the father did.
Yeah, I definitely don't see it being Kanan nor Juke, like her grandkid. Nah,
I don't know. Kanan ain't have no problem taking out that old lady with that Jesus love pillow and OG Power when he was stealing her apartment.
You
That
keep
don't
bringing
do-
that up.
I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. What
that
he
wasn't
said,
Grandma Joyce either.
he said you ain't no real iller until you take somebody that you love. So and his goofy ass just make him be convinced into doing it. I had an issue with this scene right here. Unique pulled back up to the tailor shop, no dialogue needed. The tailor man that run the shop don't look surprised to see Unique at all. Not shocked, no questions, no whatsoever. But the mere fact that Unique is back here in the very same spot that his brother attempted to unalive him and didn't crash out, didn't have any memories come rushing back to him. Nothing.
That's what I thought we was gonna get. When
I
he
thought
went to
that
the
too.
back, I thought for sure he was gonna see something, and the flashback was gonna come like
rushing in on him.
Yeah, like my own brother tried to take me out, and we didn't get none of that. It was just him just getting fly. I'm getting back to Unique, and I was just like, okay, well, like I'm curious now what we're trying to set him up to be, because y'all say this is a different Unique, and this is like the previous Unique.
Yep.
It could have been a symbolic situation. I mean, due to the fact that it's like when we met the character, that's where he started at. When we thought that was his demise, that's where he was at. And this is like, you know, the rebirth of what they're saying is different opposed to the Unique we had in other in previous seasons. I mean, he's there now, you know, doing the same things, but he got the scar now. He has this whole different attitude, you know, and basically it's just like, yeah, this is me. I'm back.
Nah, Dexter, he remembers. It's just Tyler put that battery in his back, thinking that Rock was the one that had Ronnie to do it.
I feel like this is a missed opportunity here because we have not seen Unique crash out anymore. And I feel like if they would have continued that, showing us the viewers that he was still having trouble sorting things out here, this would be more believable for us. But Dexter is right. This man is walking around. He done went back to everybody that he done business with. He remembered them by name. He remembered them by face. He remembers every single thing. But because of what early Tyler said, he's on this quest now for vengeance against Rock.
Mm-hmm.
But yet and still, he's at the exact same spot where he was attacked at, and he doesn't have any memories come rushing in on him. This was a missed opportunity. They could have done something with this that would have led us to believe that Unique is still confused. We know as the audience that he's still confused, but we still should see the character wrestling with perception and reality. Right now, he's zoomed in on reality, but we don't see where he's struggling with what to believe and what not to believe. And him back here, nobody's having a conversation with him about, man, we thought you were nothing. There's nothing.
I think he's a pawn in his own mind, man.
No, I don't think he's Breeze, because this right here confirms that he's not Breeze. This was a perfect opportunity for him to rebrand himself as someone else. But he's still Unique. He's still claiming to be unique. He's still claiming to be the Unique that we remember him as. The jury, the fur coats, the BMW, all of that is the Unique that we know and that the audience knows. He's no way, shape, form, or fashion rebranding himself as another person. Now, maybe after he link up with Snap and Pops, maybe they will tell him that look, unique is. I don't see him letting go of the unique. Everybody knows him as unique. Everyone does business with him as unique. Just doesn't make sense for him to be Breeze.
Not only that, Kanan know him as unique, so like that wouldn't make sense for him to turn into so-called Breeze. Like I think we got the story that Kanan didn't even know who Breeze was. So like he knows unique. Like everybody knows who unique is. So it would be impossible for him to come back. Now he's unique, and now he's about to get ready to turn into a totally different character. Like it wouldn't make sense. So yeah, I don't believe it's Breeze. Like I said, we're not seeing any inkling of Breeze, in my opinion, until season 5, maybe episode 10, but I don't think we're seeing an inkling of that till season 5. That's
all
just
right.
my opinion on it.
When did OC become so? His character has shifted too, because when we first met OC, he was a little mousy, a little timid. You know, he had a little hay fever. He was so shy. He couldn't even look Crystal in the face when he was going out the door with the pack. Now all of a sudden he out here on the block. He running the streets. He a
Doing
tough guy
recons
now.
and whatnot.
Man, again,
That's because he losing more and more respect for Kanan.
Yeah, and he ain't been paid.
That makes sense. Oh yeah, he ain't been paid. Yeah.
Why he standing there with his little school uniform on?
So they just bamboozled Kanan right here. Just completely
they did.
bamboozled.
Yeah, because they want to get paid. Like he literally told them, he was like, "Y'all get paid. Y'all give me some info on who did Fame." So immediately, word around the
came
street
up with a
is
story.
it was Freddie's crew, because everybody know the whole story about Fame, quote unquote, taking out Freddie. So they just fed him some BS just so they could get paid.
I hear that too, DeMarcus. Everybody keeps saying Crank is Ghost. I don't think so, for the exact same reason that we're saying that he's not. You don't have a picture of Crank, but Crank is the taller guy that's standing right here next to OC with this black jacket on.
Yeah,
We've seen him in a couple of other episodes before, but he's named Crank, not Ghost. So,
he ain't meeting them yet. I don't think
he met him
I
yet.
think we ain't gonna see young.
No.
The same thing till season 5.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see those characters yet. But yeah, basically they bamboozle Kanan, have Kanan out here hooping and hollering, "What's up with Fame?" And so what he does is they tell him that they think it's Freddie's crew that put Fame down, and Kanan's like, "Good work." So yeah, I agree with you all on that. He basically,
Hey man, nobody gets paid until I find out what happened to Fame. All right, nobody get. You want to get paid? You want some real paper? I need to know what happened to Fame, man.
So yeah, off on the wild goose chase, Kanan goes. Lou is in the studio listening to B-Rilla do his thing in the booth. And Lou's like, yo, step out for a minute. Let me rap to you for a second, bro. He's like, your flow is good. I'm feeling it. However, these rhymes, these tech lines and chalk lines, it ain't working for me. Like you need to come with something a little bit different. Like we heard this over and over again from you. Let's give your flow a different sound. Let's do something different. And Rilla like, what? Say what? Like really
Right.
all disrespectful to the man. Like, but that is his job as the producer. That is his job as the person that's producing the track. You as the artist, you are the canvas. So it ain't getting in the booth and spitting what you want to spit. It ain't getting in the booth and putting out what you want to put out, because what you put out ain't sold records. That's why you ain't got no money right now, because what you did put out didn't sell, right?
Oh,
so
right.
He is trying to tell you in so many words that, hey, this is your old sound. It ain't did nothing for you the first time. It ain't gonna do nothing for you this time. Let's try something different. He was like, man, you came looking for me, and now you telling me my rhymes? Yeah, Lou, you suck. No, yeah, really, you suck. That's what he's telling you. You suck.
I didn't think he was telling him he sucked. I looked at it as he was telling him as like, yo.
No, that's me telling him he sucks.
Oh.
Right.
I was looking at it like he was telling him, like, yo, when he said it, like metaphors, like, yo, you can still talk about this, but let's like, you know what I'm saying? You want to talk about you being there, you want to talk about you laying down people, but instead of just coming out and say it, let's use metaphors, like, so
allegory.
Something allegorical. You know, I think he was just trying to make them think outside of the box. You know, anybody could say what you're saying, but if you say it in a different way, alluding to something, this is something that they never really heard before. So I don't think, I mean, a lot of people think B-Rilla suck. I think for his time and his era that he's actually, you know, pretty decent. But I think that I think that Lulu was on to something and B-Rilla just didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
He'd be all right if he didn't have that nasty ass attitude.
Yep.
For sure.
Facts. Self-entitled attitude, then I might feel his flow a little bit. But as an artist, I can see why you ain't selling records.
Yeah. You think your way is what's supposed to sell, and it ain't that. But I'm sorry.
He got that I'm the ish mentality, but he ain't making no money.
Yeah, it probably was a lot of artists that was like that back then. That just thought like, yeah, my flow is this or my flow is that, and didn't really want to listen to, you know, hell, not for nothing. Biggie was like that, but I don't want to get too
a lot of the mainstream artists that we
know. Biggie was like that. Biggie thought he was like
that.
Nah, let's put this gangster stuff, you know, whatever. And even, you know, Diddy was like, nah, let's change it up a little bit. So really just kind of used to the streets mentality, and he's stupid.
Just ignorant.
Ignorant.
This ignorant.
For sure.
Appreciate the super chat to Marcus, and Lulu will probably beat the brakes off of B-Rilla.
He will.
For sure. I think he's gonna clean him up. He's gonna get him situated.
Yeah, he needs a situation.
Yeah.
He put in a situation. Right. Speaking of a situation, Rilla comes out here and, you know, he start mouthing off at Lou. Not only is this man trying to help your career, but he's also giving you a place to lay your head. Got you out of jail. Where's the entitlement? Where's the entitlement coming from? How about some gratitude, right?
Yep.
So Lou, like, you know what? This ain't going the way it's supposed to go, so I'm gonna just step out for a minute before I do something I regret. And he said, "I'd love to see what that look like."
Right? No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Relax yourself before you get parked somewhere. You need to relax.
Yeah,
yourself.
you better relax yourself real quick, sir, before he gets some of them ox cords.
Yeah.
Ox cords like he did.
Lou do work in the studio too.
That's why I'm thinking that's why I'm thinking B-Rilla don't know Lou's background or family background.
He don't know the Thomas family. Yeah,
he don't know him to say that.
Yes, he have no clue who he's dealing with.
I think he just know him for putting on Famous, who he thought Famous sucked, you know, whatever, because Famous wasn't speaking from the from experience such as B-Rilla. But again, B-Rilla is an entitled punk.
DeMarcus, you say Lulu is a lover, not a fighter. Have you season 1 Lulu? Have you forgotten all about season 1 Lulu? Like he working.
Nah.
Yeah. Lulu didn't start losing until he had to put down Kanan and Homie.
And that's when he started taking a turn for the worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Before then, Lou was on some.
Yeah, because he was really the one Rock used to call for.
Lou was a smooth criminal.
Yeah, he was a smooth criminal. Yep.
Yeah, he was a smooth criminal. You know, Marvin was a sloppy one that, you know, or whatever. Lou was the one that took care of business quietly.
And don't forget that how he tightened up Proud Camacho a couple of times before he even took him out.
Oh, for sure.
He smacked him around all over.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I forgot he jumped on Marvin too. Yep. Sure did. All right, so we knew this scene right here, but back to this. Rilla's going to find himself in a situation that he's going to not walk away from.
Definitely.
So Hafiz, Stefano, and Rock, which Rock had said earlier that she couldn't take that coked up Martha Stewart who planted his prom to the meeting, because he would have been a total embarrassment for her if she would have took that in there with her. So they having a meeting about, you know, getting distribution. And Hafiz is sitting here telling Rock all about his troubles on how he got to open a new facility and he got to hire new workers. And she said, that is a you problem, not mine. And, you know, of course, Stefano is, you know, kind of reaffirming that, you know, they got a solid distribution network, but I'm trying to figure out what's Stefano's link to this. Like Rock tried to get product for herself. What does Stefano have to do with any of this?
Because she literally told, remember, she sold him, what was it, episode 2? Because she was trying to cut Quan out. And he was like, I can't really cut Quan out because Quan is like, and she was like, well, what if I could step up and be distro? So she basically stepping up and like, yo, I'm going to be the distro. I'm going to run all this. You still going to get your proceeds, but I'm going to be the main distro. So we cut Quan out altogether.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, if I see that, then we can move forward. And now that he said, he like, okay, cool. Then, yeah, we can move forward. I ain't got no problem. Like, shoot, Quan can go. Like,
They say you need a poppy seeds, you need this, you need that. She was like, well, what if I get that for you? And that's what she's working on.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So basically, Rock gives Hafez her number, and oddly enough, he agrees. And Stefano makes a comment that, you know, that's why women in the boardroom always get their way. We love women in the boardroom and get their way. To me, that's foreshadowing that Rock is somehow, some way going to come out on top. That's not saying that she's not going to take some hits. That's not saying that, you know, is she going to walk away from this situation this season unscathed. Somehow, some way, she's going to come out on top.
Well, she already taking hits. It's just she might take some big ones. Yeah.
Yep. So they toast to a new partnership. What's going on here in this scene?
Okay, yeah. This one, Marv shows up back at Mama Joyce's house, and he's coming to, which I still don't understand why he came to visit Mama Joyce in a sense, but you know, they got the nurse that's there, and he's talking to the nurse, you know, asking her, you know, how she been, how's everything going on, you know, like what's her mood, and you know, the nurse tells her like, yeah, she been cool, but she's still been kind of, you know, her usual self. And he's like, you know, you should go back there and see her. Marv like, nah.
For my sake, I ain't going back there to see her.
Yeah, he like, nah, I ain't going back there.
Yeah, he was over there checking Mama Joyce's temperature is what he was doing.
Yeah. I was checking to see if she was still here.
That too.
Yep.
I also thought, but we didn't see it. I thought maybe it was something that, like, since Mama Joyce told Lou what she had said she wanted Marvin to do, and Marvin didn't do it, I thought maybe that we was gonna see something where like Lou told Marv, like, hey, I spoke to Mom.
She asked me to do it too.
Yeah, she asked me to do it too, and that's why he stopped by the crib just to see how she was doing.
Kanan, you should have been able to see for yourself. So Kanan out doing his recon. You know, he don't track Freddie's crew down. And, you know, he's kind of watching them. These boys are having a good time, you know. These boys don't look like no unalivers.
Nope.
You should be able to look at these boys and tell they ain't no unalivers. The little fella right here with the maroon hoodie on, he was the one who had the gat.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kanan was like, I'm outnumbered. Let me go get some backup. Yep, he had the gat. Kanan like, let me go get some backup. And so these boys out here having a good time. Like, you know, they ain't bothering nobody or whatever. I feel like this was a different day.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was a different day. Yeah.
Yeah, because when they finally roll up on him, he got totally different clothes on.
Yeah, they got different clothes on. That's what I thought. All right.
Man.
So
I'll go ahead.
So Kanan's like, it's 4 of them, 1 of me. I might need to go get Cuz on this. As I said in the prediction video, I said, Juke, go get that target practice in. She got to go put that work in real quick. Right. And we saw here that Juke is really, really nice with a piece.
She was in that joint like Metal Gear Solid, just having a ball.
Marvin, I think Juke better than you with a piece, sir.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
I think Juke better with a piece than you are, M2.
I doubt that.
I don't know. You're going to have to show me something because Juke.
I doubt that. That's TV. And her the position, the way she holding it is TV-esque. That's way wrong.
I put my money on Juggernaut.
Juke is she
She
ready.
did her thing though. I can't take nothing away from that.
She ready.
She went through that. I was like, whoo.
And you see the smile on her face, but I low key believe what she told Marvin later on in the episode that it calmed her or whatever. I felt like, that was her blowing off some steam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know that for yourself. That blows. That's kind of like a stress reliever.
It works.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah,
So
for sure.
she went in and put that work in. Juke ready. Rock show up to Kanan's place, check in with him, and probably to let him know that they got a new connect and they getting ready to open a pipeline back up. Crystal answers the door as usual, per the usual. He ain't here. I don't know where he at. She was less ticky with Rock this scene
Yeah.
right here, but she still kind of was a little spicy a little bit. She still was a little
I
spicy.
felt like she was about to get ready to get slapped.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it any moment now for Rock to just yoke her up one good time, like little hoe.
I really think Rock is actually trying to. I think Rock is trying to appeal to her better nature to more so milk her for information. Let's see what you gonna tell me about my son.
Well, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point of view. I didn't even think about that for real.
Let me see how if you gonna tell me how my son moving. Money, all of that. Let me see, because she don't know. She kind of walking around blind, like she said. The only time I see you is when you picking up work and doing your laundry. So I think she's trying to appeal to Crystal's better nature when she goes by there, because this is like the second or third time, and by now Rock would have been put the put some emphasis on. I can make you go away if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's more so she's trying to appeal to her better nature to see if she can get information out of her about Kanan and how Kanan is moving or whatever.
You know the old saying, you could attract more bees with honey, right? So if you being nice to her, then of course you'd be able to get more information. I 100% agree with that. 100%.
But she ain't getting nothing out of her.
But it also could be at the same time she's trying to be nice to her because she's still trying to pull Kanan back in.
There you go. That's where I was going with that.
There you go.
I think that Rock for the most part see that, okay, she's still around. She always around. Remember the last time she saw her, she commented on the fact that the house was clean.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she see Crystal and be like, okay, maybe you do care something about my son or whatever, So she's trying to feel the situation out, but at the same time, knowing by pissing her off or being confrontational with her ain't gonna win her no cool points with Kanan. So I agree with that. I feel like she's probably trying to work her over a little bit,
more bees with honey,
she can help get back into Kanan's good graces. But I still want Rock to smack the shit out of her ass.
Why?
Why? I don't like Crystal. I feel like Crystal ain't for the family. I keep telling y'all that I feel like Crystal ain't for the family.
I don't think she is either, but you know what I'm saying? I think that, right now it's more so of a where Rock is more of a chess versus checkers type thing.
I feel like Juke called it perfectly when Juke was like, okay, when she told Juke that Butter was her way out, and when Butter went away, she latched on to Kanan instantly, and Juke was like, so Kanan's your new way out now? I feel like she's on that Kanan retirement plan.
But I think she's actually helping Kanan out. I mean, she's helping herself out, with her behavior. But she kind of gave
Kanan a better help.
Gems. Yeah, she got to get Kanan some gems. Like, you don't want to lay your head at where to work at and things like that. You got to move out of here. I think she kind of gave Kanan some gems. So she's helping herself out by helping Kanan.
She's his Holly.
Yeah. That's the way of putting it.
She's his Holly.
I don't know about that though, but
she ain't
I mean, in a sense.
She ain't an Angela, but she is his Holly.
Sense. Yeah.
She's his Holly. She's his version of a Holly. I really wish that this character would have been Jarita. I really wish that is who this character would have been, rather than her being Crystal. I would have rather this character been Jarita, because we saw in OG Power that Jarita held Kanan down even when he was locked up, kept the money and stuff for him. I would have really liked for her to have been this character.
I think we might get that late if seasons continue. I think we might get that retro. So you might be on to something.
First season 5.
You own the song with that one, Retro. I think later on in some later seasons when we see a much more adult Kanan, I think we are gonna get a Jarita.
Luke's sitting up here at the bar staring at a drink and just don't know what to do with himself. And he's called for Jessica to come down here to see about him and, hurt people, find comfort in each other. So I knew right then and there, hey, that's a good one, Xavier. Maybe Kanan cheats on Crystal with Jarita. Yep. But that kind of goes back to why Unique is not Breeze, why Crank is not Ghost. We keep looking for OG characters this early on in the story, and we haven't seen any of them yet. The only people that we've seen yet is Juke and Kanan. So until the story advances forward, we're not going to see some of these other characters that tie into OG Power. If that would be the case, we would be no met Jarita. We would have been no met Angela. We would have been no met Keisha. We would have no met Tasha. We've got a lot of characters to meet besides Ghost and Tommy. That's important to the story. Remember, Tasha knew who Kanan was. So we have a lot of other characters to meet besides this. So we got to get rid of some of these characters to make room for the characters that we're looking for.
Yeah.
So
that's why I think we only gonna see them till 5, and then that's when it's gonna roll over.
Or if there's a season 6, we don't know when they're gonna pull the plug.
That's true.
On Raising Kanan. But yes, I think Raising Kanan is going to segue into Origins.
Yeah.
All right, so they sit here and they spend a moment with each other, and it was really a bunch of nothing here. We didn't really get anything out of this scene other than them kind of reconnecting.
Yep.
All right, so
well, I mean, you know what, Retro, on that one, I mean, we did get the fact that he was sitting there with that drink. He actually called Jessica to come there because she asked, Had you drank any of that? And he said no. But he told her to get away. So I think he kind of, he used her as a gateway to get out of, hey, talk me out of this, or, help me to see if she actually would. And I mean, well, not to see if she actually showed up, but I mean, she came. So I think that we did get that out of her. Like, okay, she's still there for Lou.
Yeah, and we know that she left there with feelings for Lou.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so all we're basically seeing here is that she came back to town with those same feelings.
Yeah.
So Lou is at the studio, still, lamenting over the situation between him and B-Rilla, listening to the music, and he's like, I'm just not into this right now. And again, she's just kind of be a comfort to him. And like, I feel like Lou is processing this harder than she should be, and it's her brother.
Yeah.
As a result, they end up linking up in the studio or whatever. And originally I said, old girl finna walk in on them. I knew that somehow, some way she was going to be involved with them, linking up. I just thought she was going to walk in on them or whatever.
Yeah, I'll get into that more once we get to those scenes.
All right, so Unique is right back the way he remembers himself and the way we remember him. Back in a BMW 740 IL
with the body kit.
With
the body kit.
With the body kit on it. Like, he ain't never left. All he did was painted his car. Jump out with the chains and the fur. This is the Unique that we know.
Yep.
And everyone else knows too. So we meet the new character. Me and Jack talked about him last week. Akbar.
Yep.
He is Akbar is an associate of the New Jersey mob boss Phil Russo and the head of a formidable Jersey crew. While there's no mistaking his commanding presence, Akbar can also assume the role as loyal lieutenant for the right price. So basically, we see here that Unique is soliciting his aid for some crew members. He needs some workers. And Akbar is like, yo, why you up here in Jersey looking for my workers? Y'all ain't got no workers down in New York? And Unique tells him that, I'm basically trying to lay low a little bit still, but, when I need to bust a move, I need a crew with me that ain't as scared to bust a move. So, obviously, we know that he's paying for help.
That, and then he said everybody that's on the south side is spoken for. So
Yeah.
That's just letting you know that everybody that he could possibly utilize is, working for somebody else, and he don't trust nobody else right now.
Xavier, I can't with you. I ain't gonna even pull your comment up. You too funny. The only thing I will say to that, Xavier, is yes, we did see her sleep with Crown, but I really think she was just using Crown for that come up. Because
Yep.
remember, Crown was the one that networked her with the people out in California. So I really think that she was just, getting what she can get out of Crown. But that don't
Yep.
change the fact that I feel like she had feelings for Lou. But, at the same time, Lou was kind of like pushing her away and kind of pushed her in the arms of Crown. But at the same time, she didn't have no feelings for Crown. She was just,
Yeah, that was her come up.
That was her come up. Yep. All right, so you know what? Y'all might be a little bit right about Crystal. She's sitting there waiting for her man to come home. I feel like she had a plate in the microwave waiting for him and everything. I feel like she had a plate waiting in the microwave for her. She was waiting up for her man to come home. She couldn't go to sleep. Kanan comes in and Crystal's up waiting on him. And, she lets him know that she's worried about him and she's scared. And, and she tells him that, your mom came by and whatnot. And Kanan's like, I'm still having a hard time with all this. Look, let's just go to bed.
Yep.
And so they go to bed. Juke trying to creep in the house. I'm like, Juke, you're 21 at this point. At least she's 21. M2, you ought to take this scene because I thought about you this entire scene right here. This is you. You need to, from one Marvin to another, you need to talk about this scene.
I mean, I think that Marvin was basically telling her, like she said, you're me and I'm you. And he said, if you're out here doing anything like me, then it's wrong. What I took out of that is the whole fact of the matter. Like, since season 1, Marvin has always been told that he's an impulse. He's an impulse. He's reactive rather than proactive.
Mm-hmm.
And then, some of his decisions aren't the brightest decisions. I mean, you see that with the way Rock talked to him in the earlier seasons. Like, she basically was dumbing him down and sunning him. Like, no, you're going to do what I tell you to do. She talked to him like he had half a brain. And, basically, he was letting her know, like, if you're going to be out here in these streets, you need to think smarter than I'm thinking.
The biggest thing from this particular scene right here is when Juke comes in, Marvin realizes that his piece is missing.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks Juke, like, what you out here doing toting a gat? Like, anything you out here doing toting a gat can't be good. Yeah. And he just went through the motions of letting her know that, look, you better than this. She's saying that, or maybe I'm not. Maybe this did remind me of Ghost, and you on point with that, Dexter, Ghost and Tariq, because basically Juke gave Marvin the same response that Tariq always used to give Ghost. I am you. This is me. And she said, maybe this has been me all along and I've just been running from it. And Marvin's like, keep running. Like, because what I do, I'm bad. And I don't want that for you. I want better for you. And he knows that his daughter is talented. He knows that she's smart. He knows that she's talented with the singing and whatever. Ultimately, he wants better for her. So he's trying to figure out, like, yo, what's going on? Is it you putting your mans down? Your homegirl's mans down? Is it the situation with Famous? Is it the army? And Juke is like, it's all of it. It's all of it. And she's like, I don't know what to do with this. And Marvin's like, this is what I was trying to tell you last week. Mm-hmm. We saw that she ran away from that conversation last week, but it's too late at this point. She's arrived.
Yep.
But there's no sending her back to this early, this good girl persona. You can't turn her back into that. She's suffered more loss than Kanan has. Her daddy jumped on her and beat her up.
Mm-hmm.
She lost the first love of her life by her cousin's hot shot work.
Yep. She lost her mama.
Unalive at her aunt's house. Her daddy went to prison. She had to stay with her aunt and cousin. Like, she lost Butter.
Yep.
She has had so many losses. Like, if you don't understand, Marvin, that your child that you knew is gone, she's gone. She ain't coming back.
Yeah. No. Mm-mm.
Marvin is still feeling a little bit uneasy about her holding that piece. Let me get my gun.
The only
Let me
thing
get
I
that.
wish
Let me get that.
is that we would have saw is that Marvin realized it. That
Exactly.
It was,
yes.
that's the only thing, because I'm like, yo, there's no way he just came home and he just sat on the couch and was just like, oh, it's gone. It had to be a reason why or how he realized it was gone.
He said it. He said it when
He
he
said
sat
it.
down.
He said, I knew it from the moment I sat down. Something, it didn't feel right.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he said it.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said it.
I
thought you was talking about is it would have been nice to see Marvin realize that my baby girl is gone.
That would have been. I
Yeah.
think part of that when he actually set up and he was talking to her, I think he came to that realization, and then when some of her responses kind of confirmed the fact for him, like, yeah, it's a wrap. She gone.
Going back to Shirley's conversation with him at Cafe Vu, that's what I wanted to click in Marvin, like, oh shit, I need to keep an eye on my girl, because my girl out here, she finna be wilding. Okay, as said, as stated, as thought of, Rock back over here with Uncle Irvin, and just reminding him that we married to the game. And that's the best way to put that. We married to the game.
Yep.
And you ain't going nowhere, because there ain't nowhere for you to go. So in other words, don't worry about all this other stuff happening. We finna beef up security. We finna do this. We finna do that. We got more product coming in. I just want to remind you that me and you see each other. And we married to the game. And you ain't going nowhere. I think what's going to end up happening with this situation, why they keep showing him, is that he's going to end up going back to work with Unique. Not by choice, probably by intimidation. And now Rock is really going to be out here ass naked trying to figure out how to get her work around. Because Unique is going to take back, he's already told her, well, he's going to tell her in the preview that I'm taking back everything that was mine. This was a Unique's original setup. So Rock is no longer going to have this as an avenue to move her work through these restaurants. As stated, as thought of, as said, Marvin rolls up on Early Tyler to get his cut for the work that he's doing out in Corona, which I don't understand why Early Tyler is. Marvin told him this off the gate, that I was going to get a little piece of your cut for that work you're doing out in Corona. He goes to tell Marvin about his troubles. Marvin say, I died.
Right. He looked around like, somebody else in here, Mom?
That's a you problem.
What you want me to do?
What you want me to do? But this is foreshadowing here. This is foreshadowing that $10K that made man that he can't collect. Marvin told him bad advice. Because, Early Tyler, I don't feel like, he played with a full deck. I don't think he playing with all 52 cards. Because he told him, do what you got to do. So that means he going to roll up on old boy and try to strong arm him for that $10K. And it's a made man that he going to have to end up putting down.
You mean Marvin or Tyler?
Tyler is.
Nah, I think it's going to be Marv. Because Marv is going, I think it's going to be Marv.
I think it's going to be Tyler.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be Tyler. And what I think is going to happen is,
he said, do what you got to do.
I think it's going to be Tyler. I think it's going to go wrong. And then Stefano is going to come back to the conversation he had with Marvin. Like, hey, remember what I told you? I got to hold you responsible for this because you vouched for him.
Okay. And I hate to do it, but the whatchamacallit, the trailer's out there anyway. So I think it's going to be Marvin because of just what you said, M2. Like, Stefano told him, like, I'm vouching for you. So if y'all remember, there's a scene in the trailer where he's fighting the dude and he unalives him. And I think that's going to be the made man, or the man that's that Tyler's trying to collect the 10K from, and the only reason why he ends up doing it is because he's trying to make sure. Like, I got a feeling maybe Stefano's gonna say something to him, and then he's gonna be like, you know what? Let me go take care of this real quick. Like, yo, I got to make sure he get this money because he's a reflection of me. And then, as we see, Marvin's been sloppy all season. When dude come at him, he gonna end up putting him down, and then that's gonna come back.
Okay.
And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's gonna be. Because I don't see early Tyler taking nobody out. Like, his little scary self, I don't see him taking nobody out.
I just assumed that he was gonna send some goons up over there.
Yeah.
Some goons up over there.
Man, I tapped it just right
enlist
back in time.
Unique. Somehow Unique gonna get drugged into this too. I feel like.
I think yeah, like I heard what y'all and yeah, it was definitely foreshadowing to and I think Marv once he started affiliating himself with those made guys, and he already didn't kind of put a dent into Stefano's operation. I think this is kind of like the nail. It's to me, it's the end. I definitely think that Fresh Your Highness is on to something, especially with with Marvin being so sloppy. But I think this is it for Marv, and I think that later on down the line we'll just see it all come to fruition. I think this is it. You shouldn't have got done. You shouldn't have did nothing with none of these main guys, especially messing with their money. You already kind of like took out like something that had associated with a lot of their money. Now if you can take out another main guy, yeah, you done. Forget about it.
Lou's still sitting in the studio lamenting his thoughts over everything that's going on. When oh good, what's her name?
Jessica.
Amani.
Oh, Amani.
Amani comes in and she lets him know that the dude that they had saw, a little white boy that they saw when they was out scouting, has his mother has agreed to let him come in and work with him. And Lou was like, cool, that's cool. I like him. We'll go ahead and get him in the studio or whatever. When she conveniently notices Jessica's earrings and chain, I'm like, why she even took that off?
That's number one. I didn't understand that. Why she took
all that was totally unnecessary.
Yeah, all that was totally unnecessary for some back shots. All of that was totally unnecessary.
I was lost because I was trying to figure out, like, when did they get into a relationship?
Yeah, you hit one time and she act like this her man.
They could have just left the earring or something, like it fell out of her ear or something. But I understand Amani's beef though, because she asked him.
That's
like,
what this is all about. Yep.
Yeah, she asked him, was it done? And he said, yeah. So if she didn't ask that question, then that'd have been something completely different. But she asked him, was it done?
But he also didn't sign up for a relationship with you either.
So, this is facts.
He didn't, but women. She would have said nah, right? So I can get to that because
yeah.
But yeah,
yeah. He picked up Jessica's chain and whatnot. And she pissed, and she's like, "Well, I thought this was over, or whatever. You might want to call your girlfriend and tell her to come get a chain." And she storms out the studio. And I felt like Lou should have said all that was missing from Lou to say bye. That's all he needed to say. Lou was not bothered at all.
I thought he was just going to say, "Man, look, she stopped by, thing with fame, and that's all it was." Like, I thought that's what he was gonna say, but I was just lost because I never knew they were a couple. So
yeah, she acting like they married.
I was confused.
Right. I'm telling you, it didn't matter because if he just would have been like, if he would have said, I'm not sure if that's done or not, there's feelings are still there, whatever, then it's a different. But when he said that it was done, whatever. Like,
and she's giving her body to this man.
Yeah.
Remember, she said we said we wasn't going to dig into this, but for real, she did say before they had their round 2 that it had been a while since she had given her body away, or she had let someone listen to her records.
Listen to the records,
in her records.
Listen to the records.
So now she in her feelings.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so now she in her feelings. She felt like more. She felt more like she was lied to than it was of anything, because he said that it was done. They're not in a relationship or anything like that. But to establish any type of to establish any type of intimacy with a woman, they want that. They want it all built on trust. Whether it's true, whether you telling them no, I still got feelings there, or you telling them no, they want you to be honest, whether you're in a relationship or not.
But you put yourself into this predicament. You pursued him. He didn't pursue you.
That's
So-
true.
For sure, but he had an option. He had a choice to tell her I got feelings there or not. I'm just saying. I know where she coming from. I know where he coming from. I see what both like aspects at. They both need to take a step back.
Yeah.
More specifically, her because of what happened.
Yeah, because she should have crossed the line to begin with. This work, this business.
Yeah, especially
So
what's happened.
Cross that line. You should never cross that line with somebody you work with.
Yeah,
you
for
never
sure.
put yourself in a situation where you sleeping with
sure.
somebody that
For
you got to
sure.
work with. It ain't
For
gonna
sure.
end well. So
Big
she
facts.
should have. So she should have thought about the predicament that she was going to put herself in before she even went there with Lou. But her
Right.
feelings got involved. Her feelings got involved, so she had to, let him know that, hey, I ain't feeling this, because seems like she probably wants to be in a relationship with Lou.
Well, Miss Imani never gets your meat where you make your bread.
So let me ask y'all this. Do you think there's going to be problems with the two of them going forward?
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially when they put 2 and 2 together about B-Rilla, dumb idea.
Yeah.
You know what? That might sound back, but you know what, Fresh? That situation there, when that comes about, I think that's what brings it to a point where it's like, well, we got to put our shit on pause because we got bigger issues.
Said it, but somebody said it that it probably would have been better if Lou would have explained, what this was. Like, listen, we grieving.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah,
we were grieving, and it was just a moment. But he let her leave there, thinking that there's probably gonna be problems with the two of them going forward. Brian B-Rilla.
They could have did without this scene, in my opinion.
You said what?
They could have done without the scene, in my opinion.
I think it was only just to show his desperation, because I said that too when I first saw the scene. I think that it was desperation, because I've never seen a box of diapers that big before. I've never seen a box.
I have.
That must be the deluxe edition, man. How many diapers in there? About 120?
Yeah, in a box like that, it's usually like 100. Depend on the size though, because the bigger the size is, the less you get in the box. So with that baby being the age she is, it's probably like 120 to 160 diapers in that box.
Yeesh. So he showed up to his baby mom's crib, and she's like, I sure hope you got some money with them diapers. And he's like, no. He just goofy.
The new Z?
He even talk like he goofy. I'm just saying though, I'm gonna get this single out, and I'm gonna take care of you. Word is born. I'm gonna take care of you.
Dexter, he
Hey,
never
didn't
got
she?
it yet.
Did his baby mama say?
Oh, Dexter is right. He did get money. Where that money
Oh,
go?
that's right. He got that advance.
Yeah.
Didn't his baby mama say to him, "I ain't heard your music on the radio"? Didn't she say that to him?
Yeah.
He did. And Xavier, you are absolutely right. He do talk like Zeke. He's man.
Yeah, I told y'all he talked just like Zeke.
Yeah, he's new Zeke. But for real though, where did the money go?
But I guess back then, I know as far as advances go, like you get an advance, but that advance at some point it still come out because of.
No, we got two money, because remember, Lou said something to him about it too. Lou was like, the fact that you went through all your advance, that's a whole nother conversation. Then they went over there to Lowe's place. And remember that he had the whole story about the Jew and everything, and Lowe gave him a check that day. He still was staying with Lou. So where did that money go? I guess we're supposed to assume that he gave it to his baby mama, and she's now asking for more on top of that. I
think he just blew it, like in advance. And
I think he blew it too, because the way she was, I think that she would have said something about that.
Yeah, he just blew it, and of course, with an advance, they got to recoup that advance, and that's why she said you don't have nothing on the radio. Like, where your music at?
Jack, where B-Rilla money at?
I think he blew it. I think he got an advance. I think with that advance come with like it comes with a lot of opportunities that you probably shouldn't take. With an advance, it comes with If they do a video, that money is coming out. If you might bought some jewelry, or he might have to pay something else. I think he blew it. I think his advance probably was like, we talking 93, 94, something like that. His advance was, what do you say, fresh at that time, what, 200,000 maybe?
Man, hell no.
100,000?
I ain't gonna say that. It was probably a couple. It was probably, I'd say, if it was
a couple $1,000
somewhere between like 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm just thinking out, thinking a little bit
Xavier
later on
said
down the line.
$400. Xavier said $400.
But
that's all I would have gave his broken ass.
But what I'm saying is, I was just thinking like advances in like 2000 was like a million.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking, so that's why I said, maybe like 400,000, something like that. But with that, you got an image to keep up and all that type of stuff. He blew that advance money.
Yeah.
A lot of them blow that advance money anyway. He blew that advance money. He
both times.
That.
Both
yeah,
times.
for sure.
Both times.
Oh, yep. Because Lowell had said, that's right. Because Lowell had said that he was no longer investing in him.
Yes.
That's why he was in jail. Because he was like, he done already invested so much in him and he didn't receive a profit.
Yes.
He probably looked out for people.
He had a song out. He had an album out. So he's not been able to recoup any of his investment into B-Rilla. And they were begging for him to give him a couple of dollars for him to get a place. And even after that, he was still at Lou's house washing dishes.
But it seemed like he was more humble when he was there doing that. And now
that's why I was like, why the switch up?
Yeah,
exactly. Why the switch up? That's what made me so angry about his behavior this scene, because I felt like him and Lou were like, okay, they cool. They acting like roommates now. He washing the dishes and keeping the house clean and everything, because Lou had got onto him about that.
And
like, why the switch up?
And this is where I say where I have the question marks, because like prior, I wouldn't understand his switch up and his demeanor towards Lou if he would have already had this conversation with his baby moms, or if we already seen this conversation with his baby moms. If we would have saw it already, we saw this switch up before he even had the conversation, and he was getting pressured by his baby moms. That's why I was like, oh, get that. Like, now you being pressured by your baby moms. Why switch up with Lou? Like, you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Lou. You wouldn't even have an opportunity if it wasn't for Lou.
Nor been out of jail.
Exactly. So if the baby moms would have came along and pressured them before that conversation happened in the studio, I would have been more understanding.
Agreed. So
that money was in the streets.
We see B-Rilla pull up to this like African bookstore. Maybe it's like an African bookstore. And we meet Kenyatta. And I feel like this is somebody B-Rilla used to do B&Es with.
Yep.
Back in the day.
Yep.
Sure.
Just his goofy ass got caught and he did.
Yep.
Imagine that B-Rilla was the one that got caught. Wonder how that happened.
Put me in the mindset of Brother Moves On.
He does. I said the same thing, Jack.
He put me in the mindset of Brother Moves On, man. You know, like this is what I follow. However, if you push me, we can go there.
So the impression I get here is that he's sending Kenyatta out to pull the lick, or is he gonna be with him when he
he's sending Kenyatta out to pull the lick on Lowell. Because he ends up because Kenyatta asked him like who, and that's
he asked about the security and all that. And
it was the record exec. So he set him up to. He's gonna have Kenyatta do it to get that bread, but then also since he set him up, he's going to try to get a slice of whatever they took. Because he needs.
So what do you think is going to happen with this? Because we know that this is not going to go well.
Nah, it ain't going to go well. I think that's when I honestly think it's going to go wrong. Lowell going to get unalived, and then that's when Lou is going to start putting 2 and 2 together. Like he was the one who did it. Xavier, if it was you got to remember he was signed before he went to jail, so whatever he did have could have been gone way before then. Like,
and that money is, to be honest, that money is easy to blow. You have to look at there's something that Dame Dash has when he was talking about people getting $1 million in advances, and we're talking about 2000, 2002, 2003. That money is easy to blow. Trust me, it is.
Especially back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's super easy to blow. So yeah, so he could have easily blew that, and that's how he ended up getting the B&E because he blew all his advance money. Lowell wasn't going to give him no more money, invest no more money in him, so he started doing the B&E, and then he gets locked up. So, but I think overall he's going to do the B&E on Lowell, and Lowell's going to end up getting unalived. Or if he doesn't, Lou's going to put 2 and 2 together, because probably he's going to start showing like, yo, he got bread in his pocket. And Lou's going to wonder like, yo, where does bread come from?
Yep.
Lou's going to start wondering where does bread come from. So here we got Juke. She's sitting in the crib reading a book, and none other than Kanan pops up and was like, hey, yo, you still down? Got some info on who hit fame, so you still trying to roll. And Juke goes, which to me was so stupid. I didn't understand it. I was like, Marv, you put it right back under the couch. Like, you might have changed the exact.
I think that was crazy. I think that was crazy.
But I'm like, you still left it under the couch, bro. Like, that didn't make a bit of sense to me. So she goes back.
You could have put it anywhere.
You could have put it anywhere. She goes back, find Marvin's strap. So they pull up out there at the playground, looking at Freddie's crew and watching them. And right here is where we see again that evil Juke come out, that cold-hearted Juke come out, and he like, yo, like even Kanan like, yo, this ain't the Juke that I know. She like, and
she set the whole play up. She set the whole play up. She
made it real clear.
Yeah.
One person did it, all of them getting it.
All of them getting dropped. And she pretty much told Kanan what the play gonna be. All right, I'm gonna go on in and distract him. You catch the far side. Man, when she walked up on that court and she shot that ball out that net, I'm like, marksman. I ain't never seen nothing like that. I was like, man,
the Army trained her good.
I mean they did. Yo, like precision shooting right here.
Her aim is impeccable. I'm talking about that ball was in midair.
It was about to drop in the net.
And she popped that joint out.
Kanan like, yeah, you see us. Yeah, you see us. What's up? We put down fame.
Like, I believe her. I was like, yeah, yo, she crashing out. She
did crash out right there on that court. She crashed out. Yo, so Buddy tried to run. She shot at his feet like, I said on your knees, sir.
Get right back over here.
Get right back over here. Get down. Then, old boy, he was trying to talk cash at her or whatever. When she shot past, I thought she had shot him. But she shot.
I like how they added that ringing when she fired next to his ear.
Yeah. She wasn't playing with them. She won't answer.
That's not sound.
Right.
That's exactly how it sounds.
Right here, I was like, "Oh, she crashing out."
Yeah, she crashed out.
I thought she was going pistol whip him at that point.
I did too. Oh man, I was about to smack him around a couple times. And so basically, the fellows, they beg for their life, and they tell her, "Listen, we ain't even like Freddie like that ourselves. He was shaking us down too. So you're like,
right?
We ain't too terribly upset about him being gone."
Yep.
And then they went on to tell her or them that they heard that it was dirty cops that put Famous down. And they heard it at the barbershop. And she was like, what barbershop, what corner, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, something about what they were saying made Kanan realize that, okay, maybe they are telling the truth. And he tried to tell the truth, let's go. Maybe they are telling the truth or whatever. And she said, listen, if I find out you lying, we coming for your peoples. And then when she rubbed that gun across his acne, she crazy. You hear the sirens? She did rub it across his.
Yeah, she did. No, she did.
Look at Fresh crashing out. Yo, that was a crazy move when she rubbed that gun across his acne and the boy facial expressions, the facial acting. God, I wish you would have got the scenes. Oh my God, I wish you would have got the scenes. I'm about to pull it up. Yo, Buddy's facial acting here was just everything, yo. He was like, oh.
Oh man, he said the fair. And I know exactly what part you're talking about too. I know exactly what
rubbed that gun across his acne. It was like she was about to blast it off his face. She was like
exactly what I'm talking about. But I think
Right here is this scene right here.
It was that. It was right after that.
Yeah, it was right
Yeah.
after that. She scrubbed
It was
that
right
mud
after that.
off her face real quick. She's like, yo, I'll blast all that acne off your face, bro. She said, if you lying, I'm gonna come back and get you. I'm gonna
But I
get
think Kanan realized like how scared they was that they weren't lying.
you. Yeah, how scared they was. Yeah.
Yep. I think that's when he realized was like, oh,
And
nah,
she was
they-
ready to drop them even with the sirens approaching. Like you heard the sirens getting closer in the
Mhm.
background. And she's like, they got to go. She was ready to drop all 4 of them.
Yep.
With
Definitely.
Marvin's piece.
They switched up real quick though. They say we ain't no shooters. We ain't never dropped no bodies. I'm like, wow.
Them boys out there trying to have a nice pickup game, and man, they ain't even got no ball to play with no more. Hey, look, ain't no pickup game after this. Let's go home and get in the house.
I'm going home, staying in the crib. I ain't even
For real, I ain't
even-
coming out for a couple of days. That crazy ass Juke out there
Yeah,
coming out.
crashing out. She
She
wild.
crashed out. Even Katie was like, right, that's my cousin. But Juke, let's go. Katie was like, yeah, what she said. Jess is back at the house and helping her mama pack up their things. Her mama, we learned that her mama is getting ready to go out to California with her, that she's done with Queens. She's got to get out of town, and that's probably is best for them. Lou stops by to return her necklace, and they have this moment where it felt like she was pretty much telling Lou to come with me.
Yeah,
At least that's the way I
Mhm.
felt. I felt
that's how I
like
looked at it.
yeah, she was saying like, listen. And Lou was like, you leave somehow you always going and I'm always staying. Is this foreshadowing that this is what ends up happening to Lou? He's going to end up going out to California with her?
I could see it.
I can see it, yeah.
Or what's going to happen is he's going to get ready to leave to go out to California with her. And he's
Oh,
going to
that's
make
a
it.
good one, Dex.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one, Dexter. Yep, just from that little one fling in the studio. That's a good one.
Yep. That would be dope, but where would that take us in the story?
That Lou just gone.
Lou gone. He gonna stay out the game then.
Yeah.
Say, I see it more so that he's going to get ready to go. And the day he gets ready to leave to go out there, he's going to be unalive.
That's a good one too. That's definitely a good one.
Because isn't that what happened with Famous? When Famous getting ready to, somebody was getting ready to go somewhere and they end up getting arrested or something. We've seen this before. I didn't call this one right. I don't know why I didn't think that's who it was. Rock come home after a hard day. She been out here having problems on the job. She trying to get her work back out on the street. Rock tired. She ready to come home and rest.
Yep, Spanky.
Spanky, yep.
I didn't realize it until I saw her shirt. And then when I saw her shirt, because I remember from the trailer when she's telling Marv that, or no, not Marv, Lou, either one of them, that he's still alive. That's when I said, oh, yo, because especially the way they showed the door wide open. And I saw some crazy theory that was like, this is foreshadowing that he's breeze because they had the door open and there was a breeze blowing in. I was like, man, come on, bro. Like, y'all be wilding with that. But from there, that's when I was like, he in the crib. He just waiting for her. I wasn't expecting him to be sitting in the crib eating some ice cream waiting for her. But I knew then, like, this is how he find out. So I'm just confused as to why he did that, though.
That was the last time they were together. Remember when they was in the kitchen eating the butter pecan ice cream?
Yep.
And he was like, I didn't peg you for a chick that would like butter pecan ice cream. And she told him then, there's a lot about me, Nick, you don't know.
Yeah.
Basically, I think all that what he did at the tailor shop was to go see her. Keep in mind, he still got feelings for her. As much as he hate her right now, we saw that in his little thing when he was like, tell her I love her, but I hate her too.
Yep.
So he's it's a thin line between love and hate.
So I'm going to assume, since we didn't get it in this episode, that the next episode, Pernessa is going to know that he's alive, because I was trying to figure out, like, if everybody else know this man is out here and he alive, how she don't know he alive.
And the fact that he went to go see Rock first tells you right there that, you know, he still got feelings for her. And I think that Rock is going to try to plead her case, but it's going to fall on deaf ears. But I think eventually, after some more interactions with the two characters, he is going to heed reason at some point. It's going to take him a minute for him to heed reason. But I think Rock is going to try to explain her way out of all this. He ain't going to believe her, of course.
Yeah.
But I think something is going to eventually, because like right now he mad at Rock about Ronnie. Rock ain't have nothing to do with Ronnie getting put down. That was Kanan. That's why everybody who's out here talking about, oh, he finna be working with Kanan. No, when he found out that Kanan was the one who dropped his brother, he definitely ain't gonna want to be bothered with him. And that's a wash and repeat. If we have Unique working with Kanan, it's just like him working with Ronnie again. Kanan ain't gonna be down for that. Kanan don't want to work with nobody. He didn't want to work with Ronnie.
Right.
Like he don't want to work with Snap and Pop right now. He don't want to work with his mama. Kanan ain't gonna be Unique's worker.
Yeah, nah, he ain't gonna be Unique's worker. I mean,
No,
I don't think he care who put Ronnie down per se. I think it's more so Tyler put that battery in his back as well.
Yeah,
as
but
in
he
his
said it.
mind.
What did he say? Who did he say it to? He said it to.
It had to be early Tyler. It had to
I
be
can't
him.
remember who he said it to, but in one of these, you know, moving into silence scenes, he mentioned that she put my brother down. It might have been when he was talking to Quan. She put my brother down, and she had my brother try to take me out and then put him down.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I mean, we already know.
I think with what Dexter saying, why haven't Kanan and Unique interacting on screen yet? Remember, Unique came past the apartment and bumped into Crystal, so they kind of missed each other in passing.
No, but I thought in earlier seasons they had some on-screen interactions.
I was assuming he meant from this season. They probably will later on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how I would take it as.
Yeah, he said it to Teresa Xavier. Thank you. I knew he said it to somebody. I couldn't remember who. All right, y'all be on point. All right, let's talk about next week's episode. So next week's episode is
407.
We have 407 already, and it's titled "Allow Me to Reintroduce Myself." Written by Kevin Fox, directed by Mario Van Peebles. So we should have a good episode next week. Unique and his soldiers assume control of the corners in Queens, leaving Rock and Marvin in a desperate need of more answers and more product. Kanan searches for a missing OC. OC is gone.
That money gone.
That money is gone.
That money gone. Yep, his stash gone.
Your stash is gold.
His reserves, as Snap and Pop say.
Snap say, yep, gone. Unique yokes up Rock. He threatens her here in this scene with a weapon, telling her that he will take back everything that is his. Rock is probably going to try to plead her case. It's going to fall on deaf ears. Unique is going to continue to dismantle everything that Rock has built by now assuming some type of partnership with Snap and Pop, which I feel like they just messy. I'm ready for them to go at this point.
I think they're going to turn him down.
You think so?
I got a feeling because
I feel like they don't like Rock.
I mean, they don't like Rock, but remember, Kanan still owes them bread. So they still got to get a piece of the investment that they got from Kanan. So I got a feeling like yo, we're not in business with Rock. We're in business with Kanan. We were in business with Kanan and your brother. And he probably gonna be like, this is too, like, nah, we ain't getting involved in all that. If you want to take on Rock by yourself, you go ahead and take on Rock by yourself. Like, they ain't got nothing to do with us. Because I can't see they the type when, matter of fact, if you remember last season when Ronnie pulled the whole situation of trying to take Rock out, they told Marvin straight up, like, nah, we ain't even trying to get in the middle of that. Like, that was on Ronnie's behalf. They ain't got nothing to do with us. He missed it. She's still here. Like, let's just move forward. I don't think they in the business of like they trying to go to war or they trying to just be anything that's messy that's gonna mess up their whole business.
But what about the scene where they're outside dapping up?
Damn.
We'll get to it. Let's see what them pictures drop tomorrow. Let's see what them pictures drop.
Okay, I forgot all about
Let's
that.
see what them pictures drop, because I feel like they're going to form some type of alliance with Unique, because you know they money hungry, and so anything that they can get some money up out of, you know, they down for. And I feel like they don't too much care for Rock anyway. She's competition, and think about it. Rock is the only one whose pockets they not in.
That's true.
You gotta think about it. They not in Rock's pockets. They in Kanan pockets, but they ain't in Rock's pockets. So I feel like they are forming an alliance with Unique just to get in his pockets more than anything. But we'll see what them pictures show tomorrow when they drop. Rock is telling Lou that Unique is back and he is out for blood. And you know, Lou poke his chest out a little bit and say, "You're gonna have to go through me first." So we see that Lou got more than a little taste for blood. He wants some.
Yep.
Okay, is this Unique crew right here? Yep. His Jersey crew, right?
Yeah.
But he need a t-shirt on up under that shirt, because that gat gonna scratch up his stomach.
Yeah, that's what you call it. Because remember what
your wife beat or something. Gat for the scratch up his belly.
Synopsis say for next episode. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. So I think at this point they get ready to go take over the corners, but I'm like, Kanan's the only one that's out on the corners, and technically he's not even out on the corners. He's got a courier service, but I guess they're gonna get back out on the streets. I guess that's what they're showing us here, that they getting ready to take the streets back. Juke and Kanan are forming some type of, you know what, let's get out here and beat these streets and see can we find out what happened to Fame. I feel like Kanan's going to tell Juke that he still don't think that Freddie's crew had anything with dropping Fame. So I think they're still going to be on a mission to find out what happened to Fame.
For sure. They definitely
Juke going to drop somebody though.
Yeah, somebody Juke.
She going to drop somebody.
Somebody getting it behind this.
Yeah. Not even behind this. I just feel like Juke, she might put OC down. Might be the one who put you.
Yeah, he did Dexter, but you got to remember this ain't the same Unique. So at this point, he don't care. He just all about revenge right now.
Who is this giving Juke this gat? Is it Marvin or was it Kanan?
I thought it was Juke giving Marvin the pistol back.
Again,
that was that's Juke giving him the
Marvin just back. Changed the cushion that he hit it on. We didn't talk about that, but Marvin, if you didn't want her to have the gun, you might have changed the hiding spot instead of putting it in another cushion on the couch.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That was funny.
Think that's all it is.
Okay. Of course, now you're right, Fresh. Everybody know that Unique back now, so I'm assuming that it's only a matter of time that Pernessa hears, because Stefano's right here. I think he's having a conversation either with Rock, maybe Marvin. I don't know who he's having a conversation with about Unique, but we'll be able to tell more of that when the pictures drop.
Ubiquitous
is back. Rock telling Marvin, like, look, Unique back, and you know he's about to make some big moves, and you know Rock or Marvin ready to go do his thing. But I feel like the ultimate way to cut Rock down to her knees is to take Marvin out. That's her biggest muscle.
I think also they still arguing about the whatchamacallit too.
Well, at this point, there ain't no need to arguing about that no more, because Unique finna take them restaurants back too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they because like it said in the synopsis, it said Rock and Marvin in desperate need of more answers and more product. They're gonna be arguing again. Like, yo, if he coming back and takes it, like, how we gonna move this product? Because Unique done already aligned himself with Quan, and you know Quan, that's his family. So it's like, yo, how we gonna move this product?
Oh like, yeah, that's right. Man, she is gonna be cut off.
Yeah, like she was trying to cut Quan out to beat a diss track, but at the same time, completely forgot. Like, that's Quan family. So Quan is already cutting her out. He done already met with Ubiquitous. So he like, yo, we about to get this joint back running.
Ubiquitous.
So and that's how they gonna try to figure out, like, yo, how we gonna move all this product? I got this product coming in. I done made this whole deal with Stefano and Habib's. Like, how we gonna move? Like, and I think that's probably where they're gonna end up going back and forth about, like, yo, how we gonna do this? Like, so
overall, pretty good episode. I think next week's episode is going to be a little bit action driven. I don't think it's going to be full of action, but I think it's going to be a little bit more action driven since we have a break after this week's episode.
I think it's also gonna hit us with a cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's why I was just getting ready to say we're probably going to have a cliffhanger. So y'all look for our prediction video when we drop that tomorrow afternoon sometime, depending on whenever stars drop their pictures. We'll get them. You know, we have real lives, real jobs. So once we get that video out, y'all make sure y'all drop y'all comments and y'all thoughts and predictions down in the comments. If you haven't already, like the video on your way out, share the video out, drop y'all thoughts and comments, and we will be back next week to talk about episode 407. Allow me to reintroduce myself, fellas. Y'all got anything else before we peace out?
Last one, just answer Dexter's question. That's what she's trying to do now. So she's trying to eliminate him altogether without unaliving him. So,
but I think what he's asking is, why didn't she just unalive him? Probably because she knew that she would get pushback from Stefano.
Yeah,
unalive them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
as his family, like, yo.
And plus, what Stefano said, like you said earlier, Stefano told her that in order for him to step off of Quan, she needed to present a better offer.
Yep.
So it's too late now, basically.
Yep.
It's too late. All right, fellas. All right, fam. We will see you guys next week.